Mitch from sportschatplace.com and pickdogs.com here with the Puck Dogs. Chris Ruffalo, Rod Zawacki. Oh, got backwards. Chris Ruffalo, Rod Zawacki. Here to talk some NFL win totals on what would have been Major League Baseball opening day. Commissioner Manfred came out last night and, was super candid in his comments about Major League Baseball and what his best and worst case scenarios are for the season. He wasn't, he didn't avoid the questions, he didn't avoid the issues, and I totally respect him for that. When he was said, no one's asking you to, no one's going to hold you accountable to these things. He didn't try and dodge the issues. He said, this is what our best hope is, and this is our worst case scenario. He said the best case scenario is best hope mid-May, that operations resumed, that there would be some sort of training period, whether that took place in the spring training camps or whether it took place in the home cities of the teams. He didn't know. He's not that far along in the process, but he said best case scenario mid-May for Major League Baseball start. Worst case scenario, well, everyone knows what that is. No baseball this season. He also didn't say whether, that best case scenario included fans in the stands or not, or any of those scenarios. He just said, this is the best and worst case scenarios, which we have to kind of, say good for him for at least saying something, right? A lot of people we know would not take a stand. Behind the scenes here at Sports Chat Place and pickdogs.com, our brand new premium area is complete. Unfortunately, we don't have any games to put in there, but we're going to be testing it, so we're going to be ready to go. I know I've been reached out to by a number of people that want to be handicappers on the site. While we're going to have a lot of new faces, people that you haven't seen, retread over at other sites, we're probably going to have some of those people mixed in, but we don't want people with no experience at all, So I know a lot of people have sent me emails and things like that, and it's like, I want to, and then this. We might have, ways where you can become a capper on the site for people that have no experience. Because I understand you have to start somewhere. I know that. And, how can I get experience if no one will give me the chance to get experience, right? So we'll have ways for you to do that as well. Obviously, not everybody can be a capper on the site. It's just not the way that it works. We want only the best people. But, if we go to that type of scenario, more than likely, we'll also have to go to a type of scenario where it's almost like the English soccer divisions where, every few months we tally up the totals and make some tough decisions as well. So we'll figure it out, and we'll go from there. But what we're going to do today on the show is we're going to go over NFL win totals. It's March 26th, so these can very much change over time. There's still a lot of free agents out there, some big names, some not so big names, but definitely guys that can make an impact. Sometimes the big name free agents make an impact, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they make an impact, kind of what we talked about yesterday, creating a ridiculous line, while, more value to the under. So we'll have to look at some of those. And, of course, the NFL draft is going to factor as well. How many rookies actually come in and make a huge impact, we're going to find out, But every year it just seems to be a handful at most. But we'll get right into it. Chris, how's it going this morning?
Good. We had a little bit of a COVID scare this morning. Found out a grocery store that's like 2 minutes up the road had a couple confirmed cases, so it's indoors for me today.
Wow.
It's hitting home. And I mean, it's not to say that it hadn't before, but it's hitting home now, and it's just up the street.
I've had a cold for a couple days, and I have to say it's definitely entered my mind, but it's weird. I have like every other symptom except for the symptoms of COVID. So it's like everything else, It's like the symptoms that I have are all things that, like, if they were symptoms of this, you would know it, you would definitely know it. So it's like I just have,
Yeah.
I'm just one of those people that seems to get a lot of colds. But anything else you're using to pass the time? You know, anyone, drinking heavily, or take up some new drugs, or anything exciting like that out there going on?
No, I don't think so. Well, not here at least.
How about you? Rod? Anything exciting going on there?
Any debauchery.
Yeah. Small town. The cows are back in the field. Spring's going. All the farmers are getting all excited. They're all getting ready, working up towards spring around here. They're waiting. As soon as the snow melts and they can hit their field, they'll be on there turning their fields, starting to seed, and so it's still another day here. Nobody in town around here has got it. So
We've got 11 cases here.
We've got none so far around us, but an hour away, 2 hours south. So far, nothing here.
We have 11 cases. We don't have that many hospital beds here, so.
Either do we. If there was if it hit here, we'd be in trouble.
We'd be in real trouble, and that's why. That's why the residents here, they really lobbied strongly for the last month to not allow any tourists in, and the governor just he just announced that to stop the tourists coming in now. It's like, I know all the hotels in town are closed.
Yeah,
I have friends of mine who work at the hotels, and they've been laid off, at least for the time being. I think that's the way that it's working, is that unemployment claims are high because the people that are working at most jobs, the way that it looks like the employees are terminating them, and then they'll bring them back when business resumes. This way they can collect the unemployment benefits and all that stuff. So, we got NFL win totals. I've been so here's what I've been doing behind the scenes. Number one, I've been working with our tech team, and our premium area, like I said, is complete. We'll probably turn it live by the end of the week out on the site, so you'll see it, and we'll have nothing for sale, but you'll see it. At least the first iteration of it, and it's like we don't have that many guys that are going to be cappers on the site yet, because I haven't reached out to anyone, and anyone that sent me emails, I pretty much have ignored you in that respect. So it'll probably be me and these guys, and maybe a couple others, just to kind of populate it, and so we can kind of mess around with it and test some things. One thing that we have built in now is that. The other thing that I've been doing is working with. I work with a brand consulting company, because everyone kind of knows the whole story, that's happened over the past, year and the 12 years before that. So I don't want to rehash everything, but I'm in an odd situation right now, which is, even though I've been online for 13 years and I've had, Sport Chat Place, one of the largest, not just the largest sports betting information website out there. It's one of the largest websites in the world, period. And, I don't treat it like that, because I think part of the issue that I have with Sport Chat Place is that I try and make it, and myself and like these guys and everyone, I don't sit here behind a desk in a suit and some mock turtleneck and some jacket from 1995 and a suit and tie, and act like we're a news broadcast and that we're above you guys, and just you should be listening to me pontificating, right, and all of these things. We don't do that. I make myself accessible, and I try and make our websites the same way, that it's more about a community. And my whole shtick, as they call it, has always been, I'm just a guy like you, who bets on sports, and I'm good at it, but it's like I just want to win just like you guys do. I'm not here to hard sell you anything or tell you you can't win without me or anything like that. Mine has always been we're kind of in this together, and I'm an approachable person. Some people don't understand that, and I know that. It's like I've been doing this long enough. Some people are jealous of it for some reason. Some people misinterpret it. They think that because I give out my picks and because I'm accessible and because I'm online, that means that I'm like saying that I'm the best ever or anything like that. Words you've never heard me say. You've never heard me even say expert. You've never heard me say any of those things because I've never said them. Those are things that people have said about me. So they misinterpret our mission and what we are. So I'm working with a company to make that more clear to people. And then also to try and, take our stuff to the next level. And for some people, when they do things, and we've all been to a restaurant. I use this example all the time. And, regardless of your political affiliation and, regardless of my political affiliation or anything like that, I actually got this from Barack Obama, who was our senator in Chicago, who I honestly, I wouldn't say if I voted for him if I didn't vote for him, but let's just say I might not have voted for him. But the thing is that he was on, we used to have this show in Chicago, and it's probably still on. It's called Check Please. And what it is, it's three people, individual people, totally unrelated, totally anything. Each of them picks a restaurant. The three people on the show go with like their spouse or their girlfriend or anything, friends, whatever, to these restaurants independently, not as a group. They go independently to these restaurants. Then they come on the show and they discuss their experience at the restaurant. If they like the food, the service, all these different things about the experience that they had at the restaurant. And the one person says, I picked this restaurant, this is why I picked it. And people will say, I really didn't like it. The food was not good, or like, the service, I found it this, and, it was cool, because you had all different spectrums, from all different things. So one of the guests on the show was our senator, or our guy for our district, where I lived in Chicago, and it was Barack Obama, right? A young Barack Obama. And he picked the Dixie Kitchen, and the reason why he picked that is he said, the reason why I like the Dixie Kitchen so much is because they add new things to the menu, but they never take away the things that I like. And it's like, that's I think, the key to any business. I think that, to me, sums it all up, where it's like, you can add the new and improved chicken parmesan as long as you leave the old one on the menu, for those of us that's what they like, right? It's like, how many times has this happened to me? I remember when, my local place in Chicago where they took the chicken parmesan sandwich on the nice bread, and then they put it, they turned it into one of these like panini things or something. It's like some kind of like, I don't know what the hell happened there. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's how I run my websites. The same way is that we try and enhance the things that people want enhanced, but still leave it all those things that people liked about it, And I think, when the sites were out of my control over the past year, I think Sportscat lost that, and we're rebuilding it. The first thing we did was we took everything that everybody else did, and we gutted it, and we started over again. And we were just in that process. We only had the site back. The music died on the 12th of March. We had only gotten Sports Chat back February 12th, and we had just flipped it to the new design. What, Chris, like a week or two earlier or something?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like we were just really getting started, but it's like I've been able to use this time, and I've gone on a lot longer on this topic than I really wanted to, but I've been able to use this time to speak to branding consultants to kind of help us discover exactly where we want to be and where we want to go, and to set everything up where we are right now to put us in position to go there. Because it's like, I've always had a bit, for the last 10 years, I've had a business partner, and I've had to consider what for everything that I did at Sports Chat Place, I had to consider what effect this is going to have on the other site. So it's like if I wanted to do something that at Sports Chat, is this going to cripple my other business, my other site? Because it wasn't just me, there was somebody else there. So I had to consider there's a conflict of interest here if I do this, and I always considered that. Now I don't have to worry about that. So there's other things that I can do. I had other offers, to be perfectly candid with you guys as well. I was offered a pilot on a sports betting show on television on a major channel. So I was on one of the major, it wasn't, NBC, CBS, or ABC. It wasn't one of those, but it was a big one. It was one of the big ones, and I was offered a pilot on there with one other person to do a sports betting show. And I didn't do it because I was tied to what we were doing with the other website, and I didn't realize the path that was going to take and what my role was intended to be there, because it was never made clear to me. And in the meantime, I had passed on this other show. And, I have no regrets about it. And I do believe that it's something that's out there for me still, if it's a route that I want to pursue. But it's something that, to be honest, I'd rather hang out with these guys, And that it's like, if I could bring these guys with me, I would do it. But really, that would be, a condition, But it's like I have other shows that I want to do. We do the computer pick show, we do this show, and then I have 2 other shows that I have in the pipeline that we're going to add to this rotation. Do I need to be on every show? I think right now the answer is yes. But it's like, do I always need to be on every show? So these are all just things that I'm working on behind the scenes. I also plan on writing 2 books. I've been offered book deals in the past to write books, and I didn't do them. And I have 2 of them that I plan on doing over the next year and a half. The other thing I'm doing is I got my guitar out. So my neighbor next door teaches singing lessons, and I've had to put up with this for 5 years of listening to these singing lessons. I'm going to listen to my guitar, and I'll tell you what, there's not a crappier guitar player in the world than this guy right here, man. I'm just absolutely horrible. I got no rhythm. I got really short, stubby fingers, man. I can't do any of that stuff. But I got my old roommate from school, Ted, he's out of work, so he's doing online guitar lessons. So I figured I would support him, and I'm going to take an hour a week or so with him and learn some guitar. I have a really nice guitar, I do, but can't play it worth a crap.
Not me. Me either. I cannot play no guitar.
Why not? I mean, this is the time. The golf courses are basically closed. We have, I think, 1 or 2 that are open, but they're day to day. The driving range is closed. The beaches are closed. You can surf, but I've been sick, so it's like I don't even want to go in the water. But that's pretty much it. Anyways, we're going to do NFL win totals. We killed a lot of time here. Sorry about that. I'm really not sorry about it. I want to let everyone know what's going on. And, we're going to be expanding here in a big way over the next year and a half. And when people say, man, I didn't even know you were up to all that stuff, I didn't know. It's this time that we're used. I've never had time off. You guys know it's 5:25 a.m. where I live. And I've been up for an hour working. I was talking to Charles from Spread Knowledge for about a half hour before the show. And, he's chomping at the bit to get going, too. He's changing some design elements for his thing, and I'm helping them as well. But anyways, let's do some win totals. This is one of those videos that we'll probably need to edit. Let's see what we got. So, the defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs, kick it off. The win total in this one is 11.5. Okay, that's the NFL win totals fairly aggressive. that's a fairly aggressive number. But what we'll do is we'll take a look at the schedule as we go with each of these teams too. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is back. He's got his weapons are back. Have the Chiefs had any major additions or subtractions, Chris or Rod, that you could think of?
Not that I can think of. They didn't lose anybody big.
I'll tell you, getting Chris Jones back at the end of the season was really big for them. Huh. I clicked on the Chiefs schedule and I ended up with the Colts. All right. So according to what we have here, so there's no data available on the Chiefs schedule. Wow. This doesn't help us much, does it?
Well, you guys have no sense.
They're playing, but
We know they're going to play their divisional teams.
so they have home games against Atlanta and Carolina, Houston and New England, and the Jets.
Along
And
with
then
the
they're-
division.
And then their road games are Baltimore, Buffalo, Miami, New Orleans, and Tampa Bay.
And then their division.
And then their division.
All right, so I would say Buffalo is a loss. New England is a loss at home. Then what was the other road game there? The second one?
Baltimore.
Loss. That's a loss. Probably
New Orleans.
split with the Chargers. I'm gonna go under 11.5. How about you guys?
I'm gonna go under as well, but I think they're right at 11.
I got it at 11.5.
And that's what I mean. I think they're gonna win 11 games.
Yeah, me too. I got them at 11. How about you, Rod?
I'll take the over. I think they hit 12.
All right. Next up, Chicago Bears. Nick Foles in the fold. At least they have, some kind of semblance of a team here. I don't know. The Bears were a playoff team 2 years ago, and then last year, after getting rid of Jordan Howard don't understand it still to this day, they were not a playoff team. They also got rid of their linebacker, Floyd, who was a high draft choice and had played really well for them. So I don't know if I really understand what the Bears are doing here. But the win total is 7.5. So under 500 is the expectation there. They play in a pretty rough division with the Packers, who are going to be somewhat upgraded, from a team that lost in the championship game a year ago. The Vikings, who beat the Saints on the road in the playoffs. And then the Lions, who they might be drafting a quarterback the way things are looking, and have certainly upgraded over the offseason, picking up a lot of New England Patriot players, but losing Slay, who's their top defensive back. I don't know, the Bears, over under 7.5, Chris.
Yeah, I think with the addition of Nick Foles, it's going to create a bit of a battle, but I still think they're going to finish around 500. I'll take the over 7.5.
Rod?
It's not confident, but I'll take over 7.5.
I'm going to take under 7.5. Their schedule is not easy. They play at Atlanta, at Carolina, at home to Detroit, at home to the Packers, home to the Vikings, home to the Saints, home to the... Holy, they got quite a stretch there at home. 6 home games in a row. Home to the Vikings, home to the Saints, home to the Tampa Bucks, home to Houston, home to Indianapolis, home to the Giants, and then they go on the road for their last 6 games, all on
No,
the
no,
road.
that they're just putting the games up and they're just putting it out there. They're not. That's not the order of the schedule. I don't think the
But
actual
those are the
schedule is
they'll
out.
play, right?
There would never be
That's tough.
6 in a row in the NFL.
6 in a row at home. But that's tough. They got to play Minnesota, the Saints, the Bucks, Houston, Colts. I'll go under. I'm gonna take under 7.5.
I'm going to go with the under also. I really don't like the quarterback situation in Chicago. I think they got some problems. We got the Cincinnati Bengals, who were the worst team in the NFL this past year. Looks like Joe Burrow is coming to town, and at least at this point. But, the Bengals had a lot of injuries last year, too, including A.J. Green missed most of the season. The total for the Bengals is 5. Rod, what do you think for the Cincinnati Bengals playing that tough division with the Steelers and the Ravens?
Yeah, they play Baltimore twice. Then they play the Browns. They can beat the Browns. They're 1. Then they play the Steelers. They play Jacksonville. They play Tennessee. Chargers. Maybe a second win there. They beat the Browns again. 3. They play Houston, the Colts, Dolphins, Eagles, Steelers. I'm gonna go under. I think that I'll go under 5.5.
Chris?
It's a bit of a jump, but this is another one. I'll take the over. They've had a good offseason so far. They signed DJ Reader from the Texans to stuff up the D line, Von Bell to help shore up the safety, and I think Joe Burrow is going to show some flashes early on. They can pick up a couple wins against Cleveland in the regular season. I think they can get one against maybe Pittsburgh at home. Pick up a couple more wins over the stretch. I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the over, too. That's a lean at best for me. Next up is the Cleveland Browns. We're at 8 wins for the Browns on the season. For me, this is a solid under. I've yet to see the Browns produce anything to show me that they can win on a consistent basis. And 8 wins to me is winning on a consistent basis, going 500. I just haven't seen it from Baker Mayfield that he's the quarterback that can lead them to that level. The Browns have made moves in free agency every single year. The Browns have also made moves in the draft every single year. It has not helped. And until this team can show me that they can win or have a winning trend, they're going to lose. I like under 8 on the Browns. I'm going to put a little asterisk next to that one for mine. It's one that I bet I'm going to put in. That's under 8 on the Browns for me is something that I'm willing to put that bet in and let it sit out there for 6 months.
Yeah, I'm on the under too. I was even going to take it down as low as under 6.5, to be honest, before I even looked at the lines. I don't think this is a very good Cleveland team at all. I think this is going to be another regression step. So I'll take the under 8.5.
Rod?
Yeah, I'm going to take the under as well. And I'm going to put that bet in as soon as we're done here. I don't see them getting any wins off this.
It's like all this money that's sitting on the sidelines. It's like, I have no problem putting a little on that. Move over to the Dallas Cowboys. We're at 9.5 wins for the Cowboys. For me, that's another solid under. Here's a team that hasn't shown me they can win. I know Mike McCarthy moves in as head coach, but normally when a new head coach moves in, part of the issue there is getting their personnel in. And we've seen McCarthy coach well at Green Bay. I know he kind of got the short end of the stick, or however you want to call it. Took a lot of the blame when he had one player that ate up all the payroll. Now he's got 3 players eating up all the payroll. Same problems, different team. I like the under for the Cowboys, and we did not see them beat any good teams last year at all. So I think that until they show me that they can do that, I don't know how much of it's the coach and how much of it's the players. But I like the under. Chris?
Yeah, I think this is another 9-win team for Dallas. I'll take the under, but I will say I think they've addressed some of their needs in free agency. They signed Gerald McCoy, they signed Ha Clinton Dix to the secondary, but
that's not a good move. I mean, when you have a guy in the secondary that's bouncing from team to team every year, that usually means he's a problem.
I think maybe this might be the team that he kind of steps up for. I think Mike McCarthy might snap him in line, but again,
he played for McCarthy at Green Bay, so he was most successful there.
Yeah, I think the NFC East is a dogfight again this year, so I'll take the under 9.5.
Yeah, I like the under too. I don't see. There's no way Dallas is getting 10 wins. I don't see it. Not with that schedule.
So we all like the under on the Cowboys. The next up is the Arizona Cardinals, and that number is 7. I think that's an interesting number because for me, the Rams have probably regressed a little bit. The 49ers, coming off of that Super Bowl season, but the Cardinals actually played them fairly tough last year. And then we have the Seahawks, who I believe they beat as well. So, I don't know. Kyler Murray, to me, was the guy who surprised me the most last year in the whole NFL. He was not a guy I was expecting to see a lot of, as quality play, but he showed us all that he could play. Kenyon Drake was a huge addition for this team. When they got him from Miami, he fit in really, really well. I think that the addition of DeAndre Hopkins is only going to help Kyler Murray. I think the Cardinals are going to be an upward surprise here, and I think, while I hated the Cliff Kingsbury hiring as head coach, I think the Cardinals are a playoff team this year, and I'm going to take them here for the over.
Yeah, I'm on the over as well. I think that Hopkins signing, which was a steal for David Johnson and some draft picks, that was one of the bigger moves of the offseason. They also got guys like Devondre Campbell, Devon Kennard, Jordan Phillips. That defense is going to be much better than what we saw last year that couldn't stop anybody from throwing over the top of them. So, yeah, I'll take the over as well.
Right. Yeah, I like the over as well. I can see them getting 9 wins.
Atlanta Falcons 7.5. This is a team that's been a disappointment in recent years. I mean, they go in and beat the Saints up, and then they can't beat anybody else. Julio Jones, still, I think, the best receiver, if not, one of the top 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL. Devonta Freeman, gone from this team. I don't know, to me, the Falcons and Trufant gone from the secondary. I think, the Falcons, to me, have always been a team that, for some reason, they've had trouble defending over the middle of the field. That 7 to 10 yard pattern over the middle. I don't know why it is, but they seem to always struggle there, and it just kills them. So until the Falcons once again show me that they can win consistently, I'm gonna have to go in another direction. I'm gonna take the under here. Chris?
I'm going to side with the over. Atlanta, they didn't have a lot going on, but they did finish the year 6-2. Maybe brought a little bit of momentum into this year. They picked up Laquan Treadwell, Dante Fowler. They replaced Austin Hooper with Hayden Hurst from the Ravens. I think there's enough there that they can at least finish 500, if not a little bit better.
They picked up Hurst, but they lost Hooper.
Yeah. I still think they can finish around 500, though. I think there's enough there.
How about you, Rod? It's a tough one.
Yeah. Have to sneak out an upset win somewhere.
Well, I think the hard thing here for the Falcons that it's hard to get your arms around is that they have the talent to be a 12-win team, but we've seen them have the ability to be a 4-win team. And it's
right.
Probably going to be one or the other. This is the lucky penny play. If we can find them, this is the coin flip, right? I mean, this is This is the one. We should actually do the penny. Well, the next time we do NFL win total, so I got the penny here. The next time we'll do NFL win totals, we'll go through and we'll do all of our picks, and then because we'll do an update, after the draft. So what are you thinking here, Rod, on Falcons?
Yeah, I'm going to take the over. Give me. I think they can get to 8 wins.
All right. So I'm the only one on the under there. We got the Ravens at 11. Now, the Ravens were Murder Incorporated last year, and you have to figure they're going to be out for blood again this season. The defense has gotten better. They added who did they add, Chris?
Hayden Hurst.
The Ravens?
Or no, they gave away Hayden Hurst. They got Calais Campbell.
That's it. Over. 11 is a big number, but I don't care. I still like the over. Lamar Jackson, strategizing in game plans. I think that they are going to try and shut him down, but I do believe that will create openings elsewhere. But I do believe that this Ravens team will be led by the defense. 11 is a tough number. It's probably the highest number on the board, but I'm going to go with the over. I could see 12.
Tied for the highest number on the board. But I'll take the over too. They easily get to 12 wins.
How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I need to find a couple more receivers to help out Marquise Brown, but I think they do it. I think they get to 12, so I'll take the over as well.
I think that Lamar Jackson absolutely is going to have to stay healthy. We got the Buffalo Bills up next, 9 wins. Patriots, Tom Brady out of the division now. The Bills, of course, a playoff team last season, and looked every bit of a playoff team most of the year. They were one of the last of the unbeaten teams. They pretty much were in it against the Patriots for the division title all season, and the Bills are a team that got better also so far in the offseason. I have to go with the over here on 9 for the Bills for me. I just think that when you upgrade the wide receivers and you have a quarterback that needs to do that, I think they also go wide receiver in the draft. And I think that the Bills are going to be just tough customers, like we saw last season. I think the Bills are a potential Super Bowl team.
Yeah. As much as me being a New England fan, I hate saying it, but I think the Bills win the division this year. Stephon Diggs, Josh Norman added to that team. The Bills were already good to begin with last year.
Right. But adding Diggs, and then if they go out and draft another wide receiver, and that's why we're going to go over these again. These are just first look, win totals.
Yeah.
Like I think you can jump on. These are the ones where it's like if it jumps off the page, like the Browns or the Cowboys. For me, you think about putting something in now, but you have plenty of time to adjust.
Oh yeah, no. I think this one could easily jump to 9.5, so I'll take the over 8.5 for now. Yeah.
I like Buffalo here, but Rod.
Yeah, I love Buffalo here. This is a really good one to hammer.
Another asterisk. It's only I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. Because 8.5. I see Buffalo get to 10 wins, no problem here. This schedule.
Carolina Panthers have a new head coach, new quarterback, new attitude. 5.5 for the Panthers, who still have Christian McCaffrey. Luke Kuechly is gone.
He could win you 5 games all by himself. McCaffrey starts running, he can win 5 games just by himself.
He can. Chris, got any call on this one? Panthers?
Yeah, I'm going to go under. I don't see it. I think this Carolina team's probably going to be picking top 3 in the draft this year. I have a hard time seeing them get to 4 wins, so I'll take under. I'm
with you on that one. I generally don't like college coaches moving to the NFL in their first season. How about you, Rod?
Yeah, I see them at 5 wins. So give me the under. I can see 5 that they could win on the schedule. Yeah, give me the under.
So the Broncos are at 7.5 wins. There's still some quarterback issues there. They play in a division that was, could be fairly soft outside of the Chiefs. I don't know. Broncos are usually a very public team. Public loves the Broncos, and I don't know. They lost some close games last year too. They lost some tough ones. So 7.5 for the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna have to go with the under. I'm not sold on the quarterback situation there. They did get rid of Joe Flacco. I wouldn't be surprised to see Andy Dalton land there.
I still like what I've seen from Drew Lock. But I don't know if it's enough to push them over 500. I'll take the under, but I think they finish at 7-9.
How about you, Rod?
Yeah, I'm going under. No way. Give me the under. They got a tough schedule for the Broncos, dude. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm going under.
We got the Lions 6.5 wins for the season. Matt Patricia, I don't know, man, nothing special last season. What is your call here? Matt, could be a new quarterback here in Detroit as well. More than likely, he'll be sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I'll still take the under. I need to see improvement offensively before I put any faith in the Lions. I know Patricia's a defensive coach, and the majority of his signings this offseason have been defensive. But yeah, I still need to see them be able to put points on the board to win games. So I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'll take the under too.
Yeah, I just haven't seen anything cohesive from this team, under Patricia, and I don't believe that he's going to turn that around. We'll just do one more today, and then we'll wrap up the show. We went a little long because of my filibuster to start the show. Well, got the Packers, and that's 9 wins coming off of their NFC Championship appearance last season and lost to the 49ers. And I think, we saw the Packers lose their linebackers from that team, and I kind of would rather have, if I'm the Packers, and I'm not, right? I'm not here. This just in: Mitch is not the Green Bay Packers. If I'm the Packers, I'd rather have a free agent walk-on rookie linebacking crew than that crap that I saw in San Francisco last year in both games. So I think the Packers can only get better. I don't think you could have worse tackling and linebacker play than we saw last year from the Packers. I think they're going to be better than they were. Jimmy Graham is gone, but I do believe that their receivers are going to get better too. They're probably going to draft a wide receiver. I mean, this is a really good wide receiver class. I'm going to guess that we're going to see some new weapons in there for Aaron Rodgers. Seem to be a little short on weapons. When you start getting these guys that you never heard of before, right? Like Rodgers played with all last season, you start to question whether they have what it takes. So I think the Packers are actually going to be over 9. I think they're at least 10, if not 11. So I like the over for the Packers. This is Packers are one of those teams. Once again, it's like if Aaron Rodgers goes down, it's their 2-win team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it hinges on Rodgers staying healthy and the receiving core getting better. You can't rely on Marquez Valdez.
You don't think Geronimo Allison is the answer there?
No, I don't think Allison or Valdez Scantling is the solution. But I do think that they win 10 games. So I'll take the over.
I mean, I haven't really watched much of the NFL draft, where they project people or anything. But I'm going to get the Packers have to be wide receiver, right? I mean, they must have them projected, right, to take a wide receiver. I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's probably their top team need.
Yeah.
That linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, but when's the last time Aaron Rodgers had a viable, like a really, home run hitter wide receiver?
Yeah.
Long time. Rod, what are you thinking here for the Pack?
Yeah, I like the over as well. I think they can get 10 wins.
All right, I'm looking at what ESPN has projected for the Packers. The computer's running in slow motion. Chase Claypool, wide receiver, Notre Dame. So at least they have them taking a wide receiver in the first round. I'm going to guess because the LSU and Alabama receivers they probably have them off the board at that point.
Because they're picking what, like 28 or 29 or something?
29, yeah. Yeah, even Mims from Baylor, they have him going to Minnesota. Justin Jefferson from LSU going to the Eagles. They have Higgins from Clemson going to the Raiders. I mean, this is the best wide receiver draft in the last 15 years, at least. This could be the best wide receiver draft ever. CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma. They have him going to the Cowboys. I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, because Jerry Jeudy and Ruggs. I mean, both are flyers, right? So, look, Ruggs going 15th to Denver. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good receivers in this draft. They have Jerry Jeudy going to San Francisco at number 13. There's no way he lasts that long. There's no way. He's like a top 5 pick. This is the best wide receiver draft since the A.J. Green and Julio Jones draft. And they both went the same year. This is the best one. So, anyways, that wraps up today's show. We'll come back tomorrow with NFL win totals again. I won't talk as much about other stuff. Anyways, hope everyone has an awesome day. And tomorrow we'll recap everybody's picks again. And then we'll go from there. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Man, all I want to do is pick a game. That's all I want to do.